Hello, Body Slam podcast viewers. And you are tuning in to another edition of Thursday Night Slam. And I'm one of your analysts, Chio Frost. And we're here in Casa del Chio in the home man cave. And I feel a little lost. I am definitely missing somebody by my side. And I believe we all know who that is. He's my amigo, my compadre. He is, how did I describe him the last time? He's the bearded angel. He's a stud muffin. Yes, he is. He is Mr. Dennis Reaper.
I hate you. I hate you.
Of course you do. I know you do.
Like
it
even the
happens.
stuff, even my fans behind me hate you right now.
I-
A bearded angel. I'm gonna have to hashtag that and make it a T-shirt now, just for the hell of it.
You know, have to go out. Your daughter is gonna have to get you a Christmas gift, little angel wings, so you can run around with them.
And you know what? And I would wear them because she bought them for me. So
I did happen to catch the mask that she got you.
Yeah, she made that. She made that.
That was absolutely gorgeous.
Like, you saw my post. I had a bad day.
Yes, we all do.
Well, work knows why I had a bad day, but it was like I got there. She didn't care that I was a half hour late, and she goes, "Daddy, I have a gift for you." And I was just like, "It's all wrapped up. I can't see it yet. I gotta wait till I'm at my dad's house." And then I opened it. I was just like, "Yeah, really?" Like the littlest things. It's all like literally when I say that is without a doubt my God sent. Like that's the gift from above that makes me happy. That is 100% the greatest gift I've ever been given.
Now, I was told this when we have little kids, especially girls, when they're little, they dance on our feet.
Yeah.
But when they get older and become teenagers and they become rebellious, they dance on our heart. But we still love them no matter what.
Oh, 100%.
All right. Well, you know what time it is. Without any further ado, let's get into our cheap plugs, which is everyone at Devereaux Sports. That's right, our Devereaux Sports team. You don't want to miss any of their shows. You can check them out on Facebook, YouTube, and whatever other platform that's out there. You just got to Google them and run down the list. We got the Sullivan Squad, the Old School Show, the Combat Misfits, us here at Thursday Night Slams, the Scrapper Boys, who are currently on hiatus, the Gobbler Inc., Breakfast and Body Slams, which is us again, but on a Sunday morning. And let's not forget about our pop-up pipe bombs, which is impromptu. It could happen anytime, anywhere, with anybody. That's right.
This Sunday while I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, yes. That's going to be a part of our Breakfast and Body Slam show. While you're out there at the Survivor Series, we're going to be doing that a Survivor Series prediction and a bunch of other news, notes, and whispers type of stuff. And let's give a shout out to all of our podcast affiliates out there. The guys at the Tornado Tag Podcast, the 2300 Wrestling Podcast, Backstabbers Pro Wrestling, as well as all the way from Puerto Rico, Conversación del Lucha Libre. And one more has just joined us as a affiliate, which I was me and him had a good conversation over the weekend about trying to, for us here at Body Slams, to collaborate with him one time or as many times as we feel like it. And that is Bob Culture Podcast. So yeah, so definitely we're gonna link up with him. I would like to link up with all of our podcast affiliates, do one whole show via internet, so we all can chime in all at the same time and represent each other just the way we know how to do. We have to take care of each other in the podcast world. So, without any further ado, I'm not going to waste any more time. Our guest tonight, Dennis, who is our guest? Give it to the people out there.
I got to give it to the people? All right. None other than independent wrestling, female wrestling star, not only just in OVW, not even just in MCW, but all over the country. We have Amber Rodriguez.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you for putting time aside and coming on the show. I'm excited. Like again, like I said before the show, I've known you for 14 years, so like it's nice to see someone that I've known before wrestling and what you've done in wrestling to this day. It's exciting. It's enjoyable. I love it. So
Thank you.
Just a heads up, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. Dennis, she's a good friend of yours. You two have much to talk about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out of the picture here, head into the control room, and I'm going to monitor the chat room, and I'm going to get some stuff scrolling up here on the screen as soon as possible. So I'm going to leave this up to the two of you to steal the show, rock it, just the way of two professionals know how to do, and this is all yours.
all right, Chia, have fun in the back green room, man.
All right.
So again, like I said, I've known you it's really been that long. That's insane. 14 years. You know, SWO was back then was awesome. Like the little garage and the training center that was the shows for tapings and whatever. But it was fun. It was fun because at that time, you know, you weren't wrestling yet.
Right.
You know?
I was a baby.
You were a baby. You were such a youngin'.
I was 16.
My God, I've known you. Wow. Now I feel old. now I feel old because I'm 35. Now I feel old. Like Lori makes fun of me now as it is every time I post a photo of my daughter. She's like, "Oh, hopefully she doesn't turn into you, Dennis." Like, thanks, Lori. Love you too. Like, and I know she means well. Like, I still talk to her. She's a sweetheart. And I only see her every now and then whenever I go down to Baltimore. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about your wrestling career. First and foremost, usually we kick off the show with normally if Chio's here, he'll ask, what got you into wrestling? I stay away from that question.
Right.
I want to know what was the drawing point that made you think about becoming a professional wrestler?
Trish Stratus versus Mickie James at WrestleMania. That did it for me. And then they had broke so many barriers, you know. And it's honestly it's a toss up because I also want to say Trish versus Lita Unforgiven 2006.
No, that was a great match. I think no, I was already living in Florida at that time. So that was after I moved to Florida. Because I went to Unforgiven back in the day when the 24-hour hardcore title was still around, and it was in Philadelphia. And that was the last time I went to a pay-per-view in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But no, those two matches, honestly, I remember those matches. Those were groundbreaking matches for women in wrestling.
Yes.
These were big marquee matches that people were like, it's whatever. But then they went out and they delivered.
Yeah.
I believed every little ounce that these two ladies hated each other and were going to rip each other's hair out. And they gave everybody their money's worth just in one match.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It just drawing out that emotion. And then women didn't really get storylines at that point. It was the bra and panties matches and, you know, the contests and stuff like that. They didn't really get feuds. So to see that was I have to be a part of this someday.
No, I fully agree with you on that one. Because from a wrestling standpoint, you know, everybody knows the match that got me sold was when I went to WrestleMania 18 in Toronto. It was Rock versus Hogan. That was it for me. That was the holy hell. This is 80,000 people in the Sky Dome, and no one knows who to cheer for.
Right.
That, without a doubt, was the greatest match. And then I saw Taker versus Triple H in Hell in a Cell with Michaels as a ref. Oh. Then it was now I'm already in the wrestling business. But if this was when I was younger, this would get me.
Yeah.
Because of all the emotion there.
It's still good to be a fan. You know what I mean? It's a good feeling. Even seeing Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, I never thought I would see two black women main eventing WrestleMania.
No, look, I agree with you 100%. I'm with you. I agree with you 100%. Like, did I ever think we would see a female's main event WrestleMania? No.
Yeah.
No one in. Did you ever think you were going to get two, black women to main event WrestleMania? Not in a million years.
Right.
And we got two women that are beyond they're beyond the years of wrestling, in my opinion. Like, they are so beyond, they can out wrestle people probably back in 20, 30 years ago. They're that good. Their storytelling is that believable. And the background stories of them both.
Yeah.
To the point to where how they got there makes it even more special.
Yeah.
Like, Belair's background story is probably the most captivating, in my opinion, because she wasn't an athlete like that. She did track and everything, like, and bodybuilding, and it's like, all right, and now you're what?
And that's the thing, because typically women, that it's one thing for for the men to just kind of get picked up, oh, I used to play football and now I'm a wrestler, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like for women, it's almost like sometimes they get like looked down upon when they didn't come up wrestling, or if they didn't come from like the indies or anything like that. They just modeled or did fitness or other fitness aspects, and then now they're brought into wrestling. It's almost like it's like they're looked at differently. It's like they have more to prove.
Yeah.
And that's why I have so much respect for women like Bianca, or just certain women that didn't necessarily grow up watching the product, but when they became a part of it, they showed it that respect and took the time to study and learn and just perfect their craft. Like, that part I can respect.
Absolutely. Like, speaking of so he's going through the chat real quick. So the first gentleman, Mikey Bernard, that is our other analyst that comes on Sundays on our show. And then beneath him is his brother. That is the man that's behind the whole Dever Sports Podcast family. There's 7 of us. There's 7 shows that we do. We're the only wrestling. We have a UFC show. We have sports shows. We have everything you can possibly think of for a podcast company. But we call Mikey the better Bernard because he's way better than Pat. Pat, you're a joke. Also, he also is a wrestler. Pat used to wrestle as Frankie Frizzo, and I've beaten him twice, and he's never won a title off of me. I've taken him from him. Bang, bang. But we got other people in here. We got Wrestling Realm says, "What's up, y'all?" We have Pat asks, saying Stephanie and Triple H, I believe, are pushing women workers. I believe 100% is. I don't think it's Triple H. I think it's Stephanie. And I say that because, yes, Triple H was a part of NXT and he did all this, Pat. But I think Stephanie has more of a understanding of what needs to be taken care of in the women wrestling. And like you brought up, like, it's harder for women that didn't have the sports background. Look at the Bellas. Look at Eva Marie. Those girls didn't have any wrestling background.
Right. And then that was during the Divas era.
Yeah.
Also. So it's like, it's almost like they weren't even expected to during that time.
100%. Was I a fan of Eva Marie? No, but she worked me over to actually like her character. Like, she made me actually hate her on TV. And it was like, okay, you're that good. You just came back, and I already hate you, and all you did was walk out. Okay, all right. She took it serious, more serious this time than she did the first round.
Yeah,
and I do think the Total Divas TV show made her way. I think that show was just what ruined it for her.
Okay, that show was my guilty pleasure. I love that show.
No, I didn't hate that show. I really didn't. By the way, the thing that's on the screen is my dad saying, "Have a great show." Thank you, Chio. He was waiting for me to say it. Love you, Pop. But no, I liked the show. I didn't hate it. I just think they hurt her. I think they hurt Eva Marie for that show.
I get what you're saying, but I also feel like they kind of showed her in more of a personal light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, I gained a lot more respect for the Bellas,
Yes. I did. I agree with. So the Bellas definitely made me gain a lot more respect for them
Mhm.
on that show, because you saw a little bit more into their family and their lifestyles and how different they are from each other.
And
You
I didn't
know,
know they were executive producers. So I was
no
like,
one
man, like these women are smart. Like,
like
you know, and that just goes to show it's like they're very smart, and then I appreciated how they kind of looked at life beyond the ring.
yep.
You know, but while still honoring their roots and coming, you know, from wrestling. And there were another set of women that didn't necessarily have a wrestling background, but they studied. I know they worked a lot with Natty, and
Yep.
you can show, especially so Nikki Bella was always my favorite Bella. But you can see that, you know, like they studied and they cared, and you know, it showed in their wrestling, and they cared about putting on good matches, you know, especially during that whole Give Divas a Chance era, you know?
Oh, I agree. And there's not a lot of stuff I won't agree with when it comes to the wrestling world, because again, I do a lot of backstage and behind the scenes stuff now, so I'm getting to see and do things that I would have never thought I would have done 14 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
like do a podcast and start my own wrestling promotion and start a production company and have to produce matches for YouTube series, and I'm like, oh, I'm well over my head. But I'm gonna say this: I had a lady that one of the girls that was on our show literally helped produce the women's matches that we were trying to get done, and I was like, okay, I'm mind blown. I was mind blown by what the Bellas have done, because they were marketing masterminds with their stuff.
Yes.
They knew how to market what they had and how they needed to do it, and Vince didn't argue with it
Yeah.
because it worked. It worked everything they did marketing wise worked every time. It never failed.
Especially with Brie, because Brie was also, you know, I know Nikki became a mom later on, but Brie was a mom during all of that.
Yeah,
And now I know firsthand, like it's a lot.
yeah,
Oh man, just hats off to them.
yeah. We did have a question. Mikey did ask. At what age did you discover wrestling?
I was 5, I believe. My first wrestling memory ever was when Chris Jericho debuted and he interrupted The Rock's promo on Monday Night
That
Raw.
was such a good night.
Yeah, that's like my first wrestling memory ever.
Man, now that's like taking me back. Is like that's when Raw was on 2 different channels. So
Mm,
you got to watch the first
forgot
half
about
on
that.
on the free peep channel, and then you had to watch the second half on the premium channel.
Yeah, man.
So I remember that because they put it on the free version. They didn't put it on the paid version,
Yeah,
and I
because we had
got to
basic.
watch it. Oh my god! Wow, that's talking. Man, I was in maybe middle school.
Man.
Or less. No, middle school. I was living in Florida. Middle school. I was no. It had to be before that. So it had to be like 4th or 5th grade.
Man.
So like, man, that's mad. Now the fact that that's when you discovered wrestling, I'm like, yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, oh, I started watching wrestling because of a friend. Like, no, I remember watching it on TV because of Chris Jericho interrupted The Rock. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like my cousin's a big Jericho fan, so he'd be ecstatic to the fact that there is a lady that started watching wrestling when Jericho turned up on WWE TV.
Yeah.
Like he would be like, yes, because he's a big WWE fan, but he's also a huge AEW fan because it's the following. Everybody jumped ship as soon as that new company started, but I watch all of it.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. Like, I'm a wrestling fan. Like, I watch WWE, AEW, Impact. Like, you know, just a fan of wrestling in general.
You know, did you get to see the interview Becky Lynch just did by any chance? Since we're bringing up that we all watch wrestling, did you watch that one at all?
I did not watch the interview yet.
So I just watched a clip of it, and they asked about AEW.
Yeah.
She's like, I watch everything.
Yeah.
She goes, I watch everything. She goes, because in wrestling, you want to know what somebody else is doing because it's going to make you way better. And she even says Vince watches it. He likes competition.
Yeah, you want to watch competition.
You just put the big boss man on the spot. Like, What?
But I feel like we all knew that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like McDonald's. I'm sure they've eaten at Burger King before.
Oh,
Like, you know,
100%. Like, I 100% believe every time Vince hops on his private jet, he already has the laptop up and loaded, and he's watching every other episode of AEW and Impact and everywhere because
yeah.
he needs to. Because if he doesn't, how's he going to stay with what? Yes, does it matter? Does Vince really care what anybody else is doing? No, because he's a multi-billionaire. You know what he's been doing has been working. It has been working. It's great in other people's eyes, but it's still working because he's still selling out venues.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Like, can his talent still sell out a venue? Absolutely. Check out Survivor Series. I got tickets for it because of the fact that I'm like, this whole Becky Lynch Charlotte thing has me sold.
Yeah.
I'm not sold for. I don't care about any other like no other match has me sold but this match. And Ric Flair is at fault for this. Okay, he's at fault because of the whole Ric Flair on Twitter and Becky Lynch on Twitter with each other. I'm like, I don't know if it's a work or this is a shoot.
Me neither.
Like, I don't know, and I could catch it, but my God, like I don't know what to. I don't. But again, that's how good Becky Lynch is and how good Charlotte is because
and how
of
good
all
Flair
this.
is.
Flair has always been good. People can hate him for whatever he's done in his life of being a sometimes he's a creep, sometimes he's an a-hole, but it's Ric Flair. He's never gonna change.
It's like my whole take on that is just looking at his wrestling career and just that part of it alone, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, just looking at that for what it is, like he's genius.
Yo, he really is. Like, that's what I love about wrestling. Like, we're both like, we both wrestle, and we're both like, I don't know if it's a work or a shoot.
Right. And then
Like,
that's when I'm the most invested.
yes, like I can tell when it's a work.
Yeah, like
I can tell when it's work, but I can't tell this because it's on Twitter. You
yeah.
never know. Like, I have people that are, I'm trying to get someone to take over my Twitter because I need to be on it more, but I work, I just clocked out of my shoot job at 93 hours within 2 weeks. And I'm like, I still have to work tomorrow, and then Saturday I have to get ready, pack up my audio equipment. And then we're going to go to Brooklyn tomorrow, Saturday night, sleep at a hotel. And I'm going to podcast almost all day in Brooklyn with fans in line just to gain more people to watch the show.
Yeah.
Because the more people to watch it, the better it is for anybody that's been on the show.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love when I get worked. I just love it. It just makes me a kid. Like,
it's like when you watch a horror movie, you don't want to predict like the jump scare.
Like, we all know when you watch a horror movie and you hear that certain music or tune, you're like, oh, something's about to happen, yo.
Right.
I'm gonna put my drink down. I ain't eating nothing.
Right.
You ain't getting me to spit on my floor. Not today, devil. Mm-mm. And then it doesn't happen. So you're like, oh, they got me. You pick up the drink and it happens.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, screw you. I'm mad. That popcorn was $13 in the movie theater, and now $3 of it's on the floor. What was your toughest part of training? This is from Chio, by the way. Mm-hmm. What is the toughest part of training that pushed you to your limit?
So there was never like a specific moment. I'm like, this is a lot. Like, really, just any time. Because I still train to this day. Because like you never stop learning. You're always getting better. Whenever there's something new I want to work on, and when there's something new, you have to do it over and over and over and over, whether it's a spot or a move, and you're just doing it just on repeat, and you're exhausted. But it's like, I need for this to go well, because if it doesn't, I could hurt somebody or myself. So just anytime like a new thing I want to try arises, like I'm always pushed to my limit. That, and also cardio, because I work with a lot of rookies, a lot of people coming up who like maybe haven't graduated yet, or haven't had a match yet, or haven't had that many matches. And so I always believe in putting your money where your mouth is. It's easy for me to tell you, hey, go do this drill. But if I run it with you, you know what I mean? It's showing like I can come down to your level too, and I can work it too.
Yep.
So just keeping that cardio intact and just learning new things, it's always pushing me.
Yeah, like I haven't been training a lot lately,
Hmm.
because I'm dealing with more nagging injuries that are just starting to pop up, and I'm like, that's why I'm doing podcasts and
Yeah.
backstage stuff, because I'm like, my body's starting to tell me, hey, it's that time, and I'm like, no. To me, mentally and heart wise, my heart and stuff's still there.
Yeah.
Body wise, it's like, look, my knees are there.
I went to
Uh,
the chiropractor the other day, and it was let me just say, that was a gift from God. Like, it was amazing.
like, listen, I'm still trying to get a hold of the guy that does all the athletes and WWE guys,
Oh, yeah.
but he's the price tag for him is outrageous.
Yeah.
But he's booked out till July.
I can imagine.
Like that dude's the videos that he posts of like when he did Rusev and Lana and everybody else. I'm just like, dude, that's a big chisel.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about like I'm in like, hey, if it's gonna make me feel better, let's do this. But no, I recommend chiropractors for anybody that's in wrestling.
Yes. Like, I went for the first time and I was like, why haven't I done this before? Like, it was amazing.
Oh, that's great. For anybody that's watching, that just tuned in, this is Amber Rodriguez. She is one of the most upcoming independent female wrestlers in the market today. If there's a show you want her to be on, drop the comments in here. She can see it. She can do her due diligence and reach out to them or have them reach out to her. You won't be disappointed. And I'm not just saying that because I know her personally. I'm saying that because she is a phenomenal athlete. But back to the whole training situation, school stuff. Where did you actually train at? Because I think I saw on your page you were at Gilbert's, right? At Gilbert's.
That's where I started. And then I don't know if you remember when they shut down. So then we had lateraled over to MCW when they opened up.
Yep.
Now, kind of a hobo. I kind of just like shuffle around. Like I've had the honor of training at Reality of Wrestling before.
Nice.
I've trained at Elevate Pro. I'm about to drop in on some championship wrestling from Memphis training sessions. So just, wherever I am at the time, I'll stick around and train at their school.
Look, that's honestly advice that I was given. Like if wherever you go, train.
Yes.
If there's a school in the area and that has a good rep, go for it.
Yes. And that's good for students too, because it's like the school you train at, that's one source of information.
Yep.
Whereas you can go to another school that has the credentials. Like, please just don't go to any school.
No, please don't.
The better schools, like you can tell, you know what I mean, and you go there, and then that's another source of information. Like, for example, like rolling around at certain places showed me a lot more of like working TV style, because I learned that working TV and is so much different than your average indie show. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just another style of working.
Yeah. Like I wish, like when I was working out at Dio's Dungeon University now out of Reading, and we were doing the TV tapings when the pandemic happened. We were like, we need to wrestle, so we would just tape. Like since I was starting my own promotion, and unfortunately, pandemic happened and kind of like kicked me in the rear. I'm like, well, I guess my show's not starting this year. But we had Outbreak there, and we were like, let's just do tapings. So like we were filming it for like YouTube, and we had to keep telling guys, listen, we're filming this. This is TV tapings. This isn't like there's no fans. So you have to pretend, you have to work like there's fans there.
Yeah.
No one teaches that.
Right.
Well, there are schools that do teach that, like the Mantra Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. I know they teach TV.
Shout out to Mrs. Simpson, by the way.
I just literally saw her, and I have a picture with her. I love her because my match, I booked it wrong, and she let me know that that match was booked completely wrong, and I was like, that's my fault. I have my reasons why I booked it that way, and I explained it to her, but still, I'm like, hey, look, I'd rather you tell me what my mistakes were in my match than tell me, hey, thumbs up, great job.
Right.
But I love her for that.
Yeah, she's real.
But before this question, Pat, Shio, we have another one before that. Yep, right there. It says, this is from Pat. He goes, who was your toughest female you've been in the ring with so far?
So I always say it's a toss up between my best friend Nyla Rose
I love Nyla.
and Mickey James.
Ooh.
Those are two tough girls.
Ooh.
So it's a toss up between them. Mickey because of it's Mickey. You know, like her caliber. Mickey. And then you know, she'll really like she's taking you to school, man. Like I've learned so much and I've grown so much as a performer. I wouldn't be the performer that I am today if it weren't for the matches that I've had with her, because I've been blessed to share the ring with her, like, you know, many times instead of just, you know, your average one and done. I've gotten to pick her brain and like, okay, this went kind of sideways in this match, work on this, and then the next match I have that chance to work on it and show that I'm listening and I'm applying. And then there are things that she taught me that I still apply to this day and that I find myself teaching younger girls. Mm-hmm. And then with Nyla, I mean, man, they don't call her the native beast for nothing. I mean,
no.
Listen, yeah.
So when she used to come up the WWA, and I love Nyla. Like, yeah. I literally, if I got paid this week, I was just at a Target and they had her figure, and I don't have the money to purchase it. I'm mad as hell about this because I've known her for a long time. Like, that's something that I literally have conversations with and shared locker rooms with, and I've explained to my girlfriend, she is one of the most down to earth, nicest women you will ever meet that people are intimidated of.
I'm glad she's still here because I've almost murdered her with my driving plenty of times. So
I'm not. Listen, you're from Maryland. You're from the Baltimore. I'm not surprised. Okay, the driving. I'm from the Philly area, and I learned how to drive in Florida. That doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. My driving is scary, because I don't know what the brake pedal is at all.
Right.
I know what a gas pedal is, and you know, hey, when I see 65, I see 85. You know, I'm at fault for that. And then the other question, and Chio, I hate you because that was actually a question I was going to ask her too. That's why we both think alike, Chio. So it says, do you see yourself in Japan, Mexico, Europe, Puerto Rico in the near future?
Yes. So the biggest thing that's kind of like held me back from that is, you know, I have been active duty for the past like almost 6 years now. So I'm actually getting out soon. So you know, I'm looking forward to just being able to really like go full-fledged and, you know, dive deep into touring other countries. So yes, that is something I'm very excited for.
You know, and as you said, you are in the active duty. For all the listeners, would you be able to tell everybody what you do in our U.S. military?
Yes, so I'm in the Coast Guard. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but yeah, I mean, it's been a long ride because, you know, I left wrestling and then joined and then, you know, came back in 2019. So you know, it's a lot balancing both, but you know, I am getting out soon, and it was a great chapter in my life. But you know, and I was actually talking to a coworker of mine today just about moving on and just chasing your dreams. Like, you know, it served its purpose in my life and it's a chapter in my book, but it's like I don't want to be one of those people that just kind of like stuck to this job for like so long and then they look back and they're like, man, I wish I could have done this. You know, I don't want to wonder what if. That's why I came back to wrestling to begin with after being away for so long, because that what if drives me nuts.
Look, when you stepped away, I was like, damn, she's not gonna wrestle no more, and I understood why. Like, first off, I want to thank you, you know, for, you know, keeping us all safe and doing what you've done for the past couple of years. I do, without a doubt, wholeheartedly thank you for me and my family.
Thank you.
And then when I saw you come back and post that you're wrestling again, I thought it was like one-time thing for the one show. It's like, is she back? Or, and then you're like, now accepting bookings. And I'm like, yes. Yeah. And then the pandemic happened. And I'm just like when I say I'm that down, I'm that devastated by this pandemic because I started my own wrestling promotion called DEFCON Pro Wrestling. And I'm like, I want to, most of the show, like half the show is female oriented and then the other half is male. So I'm going to be intervening, like one match is going to be here, one match is them. I want to specialize in And then instead of just having 2 female matches, I want women to actually have a platform where we know we have 8 matches, 4 of them are women. 4 of them are men. You know, we have the intergender shows, and that's great. I love Stan Styles for that because
I love intergender wrestling.
I love the fact that he was like, let's roll with this, and it's rolling. He has a platform, he has a following for it. I love it for him. But I want to do that with I don't want to do I want to do intergender, but I also want women to actually have a platform to where it's like, hey, we have 4. There's going to be 4 of our matches to where we actually have time to perform. You know, which is what I love about Evolve Ev8, because it's all woman ran promotion. You know, and I love about that. You know, Mission Pro is another great promotion out there. Like, and I saw you were just on there. I was just about to say about you being down there. So, like, which is probably people are like, hold on, Dennis knows other promotions out of state that are what? Yes, Dennis watches independent professional wrestling, guys. Who are you hungry to work on in the indie circuit?
Trisha Dora.
Ooh, that I got to see. I got to see that match. I don't know, wherever it's going to happen, I will bring my podcast in there and we will watch this and I will stream it.
Yes.
Because that would be a dope match. That would be a dope match.
Please do. It's going to happen. We're speaking it into existence.
So, for the younger generation, for the young ladies that, you know, are thinking about getting into professional wrestling, okay? Now, when I say this, I mean it as a wrestling for males is easier to get into the business than it is for the females. And I hate that stigma. What advice could you give to the younger generation in the ladies' world to what they should do on how to get there? Like, what kind of road? What's the road they should go to make it happen?
Keep your morals. You know, keep your morals. Keep your standards. Don't feel like you have to compromise yourself to, you know, get more opportunities. You know, I'll always say, you know, let your work speak for itself. And if it isn't in a particular place, well, you weren't meant to be there, you know, and there are other promotions out there, you know. So just stay true to yourself and, you know, don't let anyone try to convince you otherwise.
That's awesome.
And then, you know, especially being a woman, it's like, you know, if I voice my opinion, then I'm hard to work with. But in reality, it's like, would you want to work for someone like that anyway? You know?
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, that is, there was a promotion I worked for, and the match that the girls were discussing about they were having, the promoter comes up, no, I don't like that. I think you need to do this and slap ass. And they looked at him like, what? And me in the locker room, like, we all kind of just stopped in conversation, like, whoa, hold on. Did that really just happen? And the promoter's like, what? It's guys out there. They just want to see it. I'm like, you know what, dude? I was like, this is my last show here. And that was it.
Yeah.
Never been back. And the promoters reached out to me a dozen times. His show don't even run anymore. And he's like, hey, I'm thinking about running a show. I was like, yeah, good for you. Like, you did that, and it was the last show you ever ran, because the entire locker room was like, we did our show, but at the end of it, the main event literally got on the microphone and goes, this promoter's a sexist pig. He told these women in the back that they should do this smack ass stuff just to get you males interested. And the fans booed. Literally got up and were like out the door.
Yeah.
That was
That's
like,
great.
don't do that to the boys, because the boys will bury your company. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're gonna protect the women of professional wrestling as much as we can. The guys that actually will protect the women in the wrestling.
And that's the thing I was gonna say, because with you, you've seen both sides of it. Like, you've seen, you know, today a lot more of the guys are stepping up and being advocates and vouching for women. But you've also seen, you know, like back in the day when, like, and by no means were you one of these people, and I've always loved you for that. But you've always seen, like, you know, the girl that speaks up and it's like, oh, she's a rat. And it's
like,
you know.
Like, okay, yeah, she's a rat, but she outed you. That's why she's a rat.
Right.
Oh, okay. Because you did something stupid and you got caught. That's what it was. I'm sorry you were a dumbass and didn't use your head. No, you thought, hey, I can flirt with whoever, and because of who I am on the company. Like, it's not how that works, man.
Exactly.
Have class for yourself, have class for promotion, have respect for the women. And if you don't, then you're in the wrong goddamn game. Like, you really are, because like you said, like, I've always been this way. Like, I have, as much as I don't talk to my one sister, I still have I have three sisters. I'm the only boy out of this entire family. Whether I talk to them or not, like, if someone hurt one of my sisters, I'm going to go and hunt you down. You know, when I'm in the locker room, I look at every lady in there as my family. Like, I have a little girl. I don't want my daughter to be disrespected. So why would I want the ladies in the locker room to be disrespected? So my job as a man is to make sure that these ladies are, one, they're taken care of, two, they're protective, and three, they feel comfortable being there. If they don't, we're done. Like, I don't need to be on that show. Mikey asked, "What was the worst experience you had as a wrestler?"
Oof.
And we'll keep that as in a match experience.
Yes. I've been stiff before.
Yeah, that's wrestling. Come on.
But I feel like that was a bad experience for her.
I can only imagine the receipt she got.
But like the whole thing, like I'm that type. I'm very chill. Like, you know me. Like I hate drama. I hate all that mess. Like I do what I was paid to do. I get my little envelope and I go home. Like, so I hate drama. So that alone, like the fact that that even happened, it's like, okay, really, we're gonna do this. All right,
And it's funny that Shio commented after that. Have you ever had to get really serious with an opponent who tried to take liberties with you?
Yes, tried being the operative word.
I love when people try to take advantage of me in a ring, because I used to wrestle as a kid, like mat wrestling through like youth, middle school, high school. You throw down, listen, I'm gonna take you down for real.
Yeah.
We're all cool. We're all I call us glorified stunt men and women. It's what we are, because we can go into the movie scene and do a stunt, no issue. We'll really punch each other to where people are like, "Oh, whoa, dude, listen, that's not how that's." Well, that's how we do it in professional wrestling. We hit each other. Sorry.
Yeah.
If so, I know I see our time. We're at 42 minutes. And the next, I have three questions that I know are going to be good questions.
Mm-hmm.
One question would be, if you had to pick any promotion in the entire country or the world that you would love to do a 1 month tour with, who would it be? And
I mean,
why?
of course it'd be WWE, because that's like the promised land for like 90% of us. You know what I mean? So you gotta say them.
Okay. Hey, look, everybody has theirs. Mine with for me, like, and I never got asked this question, so I'm answering my own question myself. Yeah. Would be New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
Because I was trained by workers that are stiff.
Yeah.
Like, and we hit. So I kind of want to work with them, because that's the world that really can make and break you in this career. If you can't get over with them, you have an issue.
I feel that.
If you can't get over the WWE Universe, you really have a problem too. They're the easiest fans to win over if you know how to work the fans.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't like that. Like, I like the fact that, like, your path is still, that's where your eyes are on the prize. Like, that's the goal. That's the promised land. And I like that. Like, I always tell everybody, I've been game with, if I ever got a contract offer for Impact, I wouldn't care. I just want to get an opportunity to work on TV.
I feel that.
And Impact's given me one. Like, I did Impact in Bethlehem, and I went there to be security, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to do this angle with the EMT, since you're the only one that actually knows what to do." Okay. And it was with Jeff Hardy and Eric Young. Okay, cool. But I already knew them both personally from Impact days in Orlando from doing Street Team. So it's like, okay, so I'm just kind of hanging out with my old friends. That works.
Yeah.
So there was that. The next question would be, if you could take any 5 females in professional wrestling on the indies and make a faction, who would you take to be in your faction?
Trish Adora, The Woad,
Ooh.
Roche Chanel, Queen Aminata. And oof, this is the last one. This is the last one. Shalandra Royale.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Shalance. Let me put some respect on it. Shalance.
Okay. I can dig that. And I know people are probably like, why'd you do the indies? Well, because this is where we all start. You know, some of us all start on the indies and make it bigger. But I'd rather ask, you know, because this show is about getting people that are trying to get their name out there a little bit more. This is the platform to do it. You know, we don't need to ask, hey, what 5 WWE female wrestlers would you want to be a faction with? You know, or an Impact or AEW, like they're already there. Let's do a faction with people on the indies that really have that ability to go out there and can kill it and market themselves as a group, and everybody's going to fall in love with.
And then that's also been a controversial thing within the indies. It's like, you know, the companies that bring in a bunch of names, and it's like, what about your local people? You know, about your homegrown talent? You know what I mean? So that's always been a thing too, because like, yeah, names are great. Of course, they're going to draw, but how are you using them? Are you using them to further advance your homegrown talent, or are you just doing a money grab?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. A lot of shows are like that. There is one show I will recommend. I will say that if you reach out to them, they should book you. It's called Outbreak Wrestling out of Hamburg, PA.
Okay.
Ryan Vox. I know you probably know who that is.
I do.
I would absolutely love to see you on one of his shows, because he has some talented women on that product that y'all would kill. You would still show, in my opinion. Especially you versus a girl named Izzy McCoy, which is one of the students from the dungeon where we all trained. But I think she's a phenomenal worker, and I would love to see her get her a chance to work with you and go down to Texas and work with Brittany and them, because I think she could definitely kill it with you guys, because you guys can help guide her in the right direction.
Right.
For women wrestling, like 100%. And I say that with all due respect. Like, I'm not saying this again. Like, I hate when I had people message me the last time going, oh, you know the person, that's why you're talking them up. No, professionally wise, it's all professional. I think y'all are all the smartest people to be a part of a company that can help the younger ladies progress into this business.
That's what it's
and
all
go
about.
further.
Because like back in my day, brother, like oof. But it'd always be like catty, like super, super catty. And it's like, girl, like if your spot is so fragile, was it ever your spot to begin with? You know what I mean? And like now, like at this point in my career, like I love giving back. I love, working with newer girls and like, passing down what was brought to me. And you know what I mean? Like I feel like that is a true test of character. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to go, ugh, like I'm not putting this new girl over, but it's like, why not? Weren't you there before? You know?
I agree 100%. That's how it is up here still in Pennsylvania. I'm not gonna say it's not, because that would be me lying. But there is people out there that still are like, oh, I have this spot because of who I am. Like, no, you don't want it that way. You want to have that spot because of how good you are. Yeah. And you're right, Brian. Characters do matter. They've always mattered. Like I'm still in transition and changing my character. Because 14 years ago, I had an idea to do my character, and people told me not to do it. It was stupid. And I'm going to say it. Now the Viking Raiders are the most over Viking tag team. And I'm like, you mother effers. 14 years ago, I wanted to do this.
You just got to do it. Like, with me, like, I decided, I'm just going to be an esthetician in the ring as well, because I already do it anyway. And
that was the main question I wanted you to discuss about how you came up with your new character and incorporating what you do for work into your character.
Yeah. So I was on the phone with a friend of mine on my way to training, and I was talking about how I felt like I was just kind of starting to fade into the background or like fall into the mix. I'm like, man, it just came back, and I feel like I'm starting to blend in, and I'm just frustrated. Like, I feel like I get passed up for bookings because so many other people are doing the whole queen thing. And, then you got Charlotte. So it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you never want to do something that someone on TV is currently doing. You know what I mean? Because then it's you're always going to get compared. You know what I mean? And not only that, but just from a booking perspective, I'm not going to book you if I can point to 7 other people doing the exact same thing that'll either come in for cheaper or live closer or just are more convenient in any way. So, and that's just a harsh reality of it. And I'm on the phone with my friend talking about all this, and then I was also talking about because I'm an esthetician in real life, so I was also talking about a client. I'm like, I'm just gonna pour hot wax on somebody one day. I was like, wait, that's a thing. And I was like, wait, why don't I just be an esthetician? Like, in the ring, like, you know what I mean? I can just kind of combine the two. It's like a mad scientist meets an evil cosmetic surgeon. Like, I've always been a fan of the show Nip Tuck and Botched. I watch that like every day. You know what I mean? And then, I was actually in school at the time, so it's like me doing my homework is also like character study. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about me now. I feel like I perform with so much more confidence, and I just love what I do, and I love that the two things I love the most are kind of working together. And I can confidently say, you cannot point to anyone else and go, oh, well, I can get her to do that too. It's like, well, does she have 8 certifications? No. So, you know what I mean? So like, it's just something that I'm so excited to see flourish because I have so much more layers in store for it.
Yep. No, like that's what makes your character stand out from the rest. Like now I can't do the Viking gimmick. Everybody keeps telling me I should just do it because I have the beard, I have the long hair. All I watch is Viking stuff. All I listen to is Viking music. But it's like but it's already on TV. It's already been done. I go, so now I'm like, now we'd be like, oh, you're copied. I'm like, no, technically 14 years ago I wanted to do this, but I was told it wouldn't work. Now look at it. It's working. You know, so like I have another route that I'm gonna go, but I don't know because it's another style of stuff that I'm into TVs and I'm into like that historical stuff and like the show The 100. I was a big fan of that show because I'm like that kind of era that's the kind of world we're going into soon.
So me and Nyla, or mostly me, I'm always texting her silly wrestling gimmicks that I think of. I think one was like kind of like a Jillian Hall type gimmick, but they're a stand-up comic. And like we were just coming up with stuff like that, and I was like, oh, like a history teacher, and it's just it'll be like it'll be at like 3 a.m. I'll wake up and like, hey.
Now there is somebody that does that to me randomly. No, it's not you, Chio. You do not do that to me, thankfully. But I do have somebody that reached out to me through wrestling all the time. And he lives overseas, and it's the only time he can message me is always like 2, 3 in the morning. And I always know it's him. I don't answer it because I'm sleeping, because I have to be up at 6. So I'll respond while I'm working, be like, dude, really? Again? And it's always like t-shirt ideas. Like, dude, the 20 that you sent me in the past 2 months are fine. Like, they're great. You don't need. Well, I was thinking about tweaking this. No, dude, stop tweaking it. You don't need any more. I see that your merch link just got dropped.
Yes.
By Brian. Brian, you were on top of this game, man. I'm just saying.
That's my guy.
On top of this.
He's like everything. He's like, he helps me with my social media. He's sometimes my personal security.
Look, see, I'm trying to find someone for my social media accounts because I can't keep up with them all.
Hit him up.
I'm like, Brian, I'm going to because I'm watching you in here and I'm just like, damn, this dude is on top of this.
He is on it.
So I'm gonna have to add you on the book. And we can talk business. Because I have a bunch of endeavors coming up and business things, and I could always use people and have people help. And yes, this is not a free gig. This would be a paid gig, just so you know. I will say that because people keep posting, I'm looking for a graphic designer. No, you will not get paid. Like, no, sorry. Like, my girl's a graphic designer. She helped design my wrestling promotion company logo with a friend, and I paid her. It's my own girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
she's coming up with like gear design. She's like, but I should do it for free. No, that's not how this works, babe. I pay you.
It's a business.
Like, you actually work in retail, but I'm gonna pay you for your hard ass work. Like, you design my gear and it looks great. I'm gonna hand you some bread.
Yeah.
But so you said you are wrestling this upcoming weekend,
Yes.
right? So give us a little rundown about what your who you're facing, and what your thoughts are about this match.
So I'll be at Mission Pro in Conroe, Texas, at Southern Star Brewery. From Sea to Shining Sea is the name of the show. A show that they're putting on for the vets, in honor of Veterans Day. And so I'm wrestling Key Vibes, or rather, I am operating on Key Vibes. So she's a newer girl. So she's in for some lessons. So that's the thing. She's gonna get some lessons. She's gonna get a body contouring session. I mean, I'm just doing way too many favors for this girl.
Man, she better, like, I would make sure she pays first. For all these things you're gonna do to her. Paying first is great. Payment up front. I do that now for wrestling. I make shows pay me in advance. Half an event, half before, and then the other half at the door. Because I'm tired of getting stiffed on paydays.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, legit. Like, I had someone that wanted me to film their show, and I filmed their show because they were like, "Hey, we just need one counter." All right, cool. Well, I heard they didn't pay a certain wrestler named Gangrel, right? I haven't handed over the footage until I hear from Gangrel himself saying he was paid. They ain't getting the footage. They ain't even getting their pictures. Like, I love Gangrel. He was a down the earth. He wrestled hurt. Okay, I'm just gonna say it that way. He wrestled hurt and did an amazing job. So I think that's Jamal. Hi, Jamal. But no, Amber, again, we go way back, so it was fun having you. I'm definitely want to get you back on here again, but I want to get you on here and discuss more about your career. Because 45 minutes sometimes doesn't always do justice.
I know.
Because there's so many questions I want to ask. Like, I really do. Like, we could talk for 2 hours about your wrestling career.
Yeah.
But we'll end it with the last question on my end, because I know you have to pick up your little one. And I don't want you to be late for that. That's why I was in a bad mood today. My job made me late to pick up my daughter, which I hate doing. Yeah. And Chia is coming back in. Okay, Chia. I see that you work with OVW.
Yes.
And that is a big independent promotion.
Yes.
In my eyes, that is as big as it gets on the independents, because the 3 letters is OVW.
Yeah.
What's it like working for OVW and Al Snow?
So much history there. Like, there's so much history there. Maria Starr is amazing. I'm sorry, Maria James is amazing. Just an amazing person to work with. Amazing Maria. Amazing person to work with. And just taught me a lot about working TV, and just, she gave me a couple of crash courses, and just very patient, and she cares about the girls. She cares about the girls having good matches. She cares about, putting out great content, you know what I mean? She cares about just them getting that feedback and getting better and progressing and learning. And just amazing. It's funny because there's also Maria Starr at Championship Wrestling from Memphis. I'm like, oh, so many Marias.
There's a lot of Marias in professional wrestling.
Yes, there's Maria Kanellis also. Yes. That she had ROH, before that stuff happened, so some Marias.
There is. And it makes me laugh whenever time I go to a show and I see a flyer, there's a Maria. There's a Maria always on a flyer, a Jason, and Nick. I want to say if I'm gonna have to write down the top 10 names that I always see on flyers for workers.
Yeah.
Everybody stays on that status quo. It's like, give me something new, goddammit. Okay, guys, I need something new here. I need something that's like catches my eye. I just need that. But I know the one comment someone goes, "Why don't you talk for 2 hours, Flex?" I would love to talk with her for 2 hours.
Tell that to my babysitter.
But she also, being a parent, we have responsibilities. She has to get her little one. Don't worry. I will make sure we can come out. We'll do another episode, whether it's on Breakfast and Body Slams or another podcast that we have coming up that I'll probably have Chio helping me with to do live streaming, because it'll be my podcast, but it'll be like literally in person. So I'll literally travel for these and do it at people's shows and sit in the ring and really do like a sit down interview. That'll be filmed, so they won't be alive. But I would definitely say we got to get you back on here. Maybe get you on here and have Brittany on here as well.
Yes.
And have some fun with that one, because Brittany, I've talked to her multiple times through the book. But again, Amber, it was a pleasure talking with you. It's been a while since we've seen each other in person, but it was nice to see you through this and have you on the show and hear the story about how you got into wrestling and everything like that. I don't know, Chio, anything from you?
I just want to jump in here before she takes off and pick up the little one and say thank you so much for coming on. I enjoyed myself in the green room listening and dealing with everyone in the chat room. It's like it's moments like these, instead of me being on this side of the microphone and having a conversation back and forth, I have a chance to at least sit and listen. Because sometimes when us as analysts, we get wrapped up in the conversation and we start going into left field and taking away that time from our guests, which then if there's more than one of us, sometimes we had in the past, there was 2 or 3 of us with our guests, and when we're all talking, it's just taken away from the guests. So that's why I incorporated with me and Dennis. Hey, should be just one person, one-on-one, do the talking, and that's it.
Yep. But before we cut the air, just remember, anybody that's listening, you can check Amber out up on Facebook and YouTube at Amber Rodriguez, Twitter and Instagram, it's one Amber Rodriguez, or AshleyReneeBeauty.com, and she can help take care of you with dumping wax and putting you in contortionist stuff, like she's gonna do to her opponent this upcoming weekend.
I'm a professional.
But again, Amber, it was a pleasure talking with you. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
So thank you again for coming on. And guys, it was fun. This is the shortest show we've ever done.
Yeah.
We kept to our times.
Well,
amazing.
Yes, indeed. We still got to close the show out though, Dennis. So, but let's not hold Amber up any longer so she can get to her child. They're calling for mommy. Calling for mommy. Yep. Where you at?
Yes, thank you.
Go pick up your youngster, Amber. We'll talk through Facebook later on this week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Well, that was a very interesting conversation. I'm glad. That's what we need. We need more females on the show that we can get to know.
Yeah, dude. I've been I've been all about that for since we started talking about doing these shows and the interviews. We need to get. I think today was the lights just kept going off in my head. Dude, I literally had questions after questions on my phone. But an hour isn't enough time.
But it has. But you know what? But you know what? Flex said about going more than an hour, going more than 2 hours, whatever, hour and a half, 2 hours. You know what? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a treat for you. That man in the chat room, Mr. Flex Wheeler, who's chiming in, he will be on here in 2 weeks, December 2nd at 9:05 here on Thursday Night Slam. I cannot wait.
Listen,
we got some history.
I can't wait.
Oh, me and this guy, we go back, way back.
Whoa, calm down, Chip. Calm
We
down.
had some. No,
I
actually,
don't want you to pop an artery, okay?
actually,
blood vessel
we
there.
actually Flex was like big brother to me. He took me underneath his wing, and and he guided me. So
He said when. Who
who
booked
booked
that?
it's
Flex, I'm pretty sure the guy in the red shirt.
You know
he
what it
booked
is?
It could be old age. He might
I was
be
just
senile
about to
on it.
say that. It's catching up to him. It's catching up to him. That's
No,
what
I was talking about you.
it's
I think you're just booking things in your mind.
It's all that cold weather up north that's affecting his brain. That's what's going on.
Up. That is
but
you know, I can't wait for that episode.
I love this man right there. But yeah, we'll be here. He's in a different time zone, but it's definitely gonna work out better for him because it's earlier. It's gonna be 9:05 in 2 weeks, December 2nd, Thursday Night Slam. It's gonna be episode 24. Can you imagine that? Episode 24.
We're on 24 episodes on Sundays or in all of our stuff.
No, on Thursday Night Slam for just our Thursday night shows. 24? Episode 24 and 25. December 16th will be our last one of season 1, and then season 2 starts off in January with Black G's.
Listen, yeah, I'm not gonna give away any secrets or any hints of who one of the guests as of right now. Just waiting on a confirmation from a certain promotion that they can come on for a January or February date.
We still gotta get that December 16th date.
I know. I'm waiting on that response from a gentleman down in GCW. You know, that likes to cut people and smash people's heads open.
Gotcha.
First name starts with an N. Last name starts with a G. Just saying. Just waiting on him to confirm.
Nick Goutman does not wrestle over there. He's the promoter of Invictus. You said NG, right?
I did, but that's not him.
I know.
Not him at all.
I know.
By the way, Flex did say old age has definitely caught you, bro. It's only an hour difference to where he's at.
Yeah.
Black G, I'm excited. Dude, I'm excited about that episode. I love G's. Like, that man, like, just you guys itself. Like, all right, look, I'm going to say this. Chio, hear me out. We should definitely have the whole group of Black G's Dynasty. With Flex on the show.
I don't wait, but I told you already. I got Darian Hardway for the first show in February, right?
Yes.
So that means we would officially have all 4 members of the Dynasty on the show.
And then we got to do one with all 4 men at one time at their building.
Ooh, that'd be something.
That would be an awesome episode.
Well, you know what? I think I'm actually I think I'm booked over there in February as well. So who knows? We might have to do a broadcast from there with we'll figure it out.
But yeah, well, that's down the road. But yeah, so all right, folks, listen. So definitely tune in Sunday though. Sunday is gonna be exciting. Are you doing a pop-up on Saturday?
On Saturday, that is a possibility because, like I said, it happens anytime. It could happen anytime. I don't know.
Well, we'll just randomly supply. I can't speak. English is not my forte. You will surprise everybody if you do.
Yeah, if I do, it's going to be done via mobile on my mobile device. So I'll be, if anything, I'll walk around and I'll talk to who's all there. I get some of the talent to chime in. But like I said, it is what it is. I'm there for the show. But then come this Sunday, we're going to do our Survivor Series predictions.
And I'm going to be live from the venue.
We're going to talk about also whatever news is going on in the wrestling, which a big one just happened. Just as we were on air, I noticed one popped up. There was a lot more releases. So you might want to look at that when you jump off. Yeah, there's a lot more releases.
Am I going to be dumbfounded?
Kind of, maybe.
All right. Is there anything that's going to surprise me on this list?
Probably a group that got released. They already got one member a while ago, just a little bit ago, and the rest of the group is like kicked to the curb now. And let's just say yeah, oh, so you're seeing it now? Yeah. And you see a couple other names on there too. All right.
Damn! That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. So
but anyway, back to what we were saying. Sunday we're doing Survivor Series predictions at 11 a.m. You're going to be in New York.
I will be in. Listen, so here's my itinerary. We're leaving Saturday after she gets done work, going up to Brooklyn, New York, gonna sleep, gonna get up early, sightsee for a bit, head to the venue. I'm excited, by the way. I've been to WWE pay-per-view in years. Okay, since like WrestleMania, whatever it was in Miami, Rock versus Cena, Triple H versus whatever. That's been a long time. I'm excited. I'm stoked, but I'm gonna be live there. I'm trying to build my card.
But let's save the excitement. Don't give it all away right now. What you're doing?
I'm excited.
Okay, so
but we're gonna have fans, and I'm gonna talk to them.
Well, that's good. So we're gonna do the prediction. He's gonna be live on location. He's gonna be talking to fans at the same time. Then we're gonna be talking about the news, what's going on in the world of wrestling. We're not gonna be talking about what's going on in all the shows that's happened throughout the week. It's just the news part of it, of the major stuff that's been popping up. As well, then me and Joey Image will actually be given a recount of the night before, because me and him will be at Invictus Pro Wrestling on Saturday, so we can give people a rundown of what went down there. Then,
did you see recount?
Yeah,
you mean a recap?
No, I said
we don't recount. They only do that in elections.
Ah, well.
Sorry, I couldn't. You said recount. It's recap. You're gonna recap the show for the night before.
Well, that too. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm tired. It's late.
I'm sorry. It's only 10 o'clock.
I'm old.
This is early. We're usually still on for another 40 goddamn minutes.
Look. Like old age is catching up to me too. I'm right behind Flex. I do not like the cold air. I'm like, it's not even snow here yet, and I'm cold already.
Listen. There's a thing or two that I learned in my career. You don't call people old. So when Flex flies back to this area and whoops your ass, I'm filming it.
We're vintage.
Ooh. Flex, I will help pay for your flight. I will help pay for your flight to whip his ass. I'm sorry, Pat. I cursed again, my lord. Hold on. This isn't
for a man of his stature. He is in phenomenal shape. And we all gotta say thank you to him for serving our country too when he did.
100%.
He has contributed a lot to this business, but we will find out more about him on December 2nd when we have Flex Wheeler here live via internet, social media, however you want to call it. But what is to say? You're old. If you're old, I must be ancient. Yeah.
No. Flex, listen, you're still a young boy. Because you can still outwork.
He can outwork me. He can outwork me right now.
Gio can verify this. You can still probably outwork everybody that is on the Indies in Pennsylvania still to this day.
Without doing anything.
Without 100%. And no, Flex, listen. It's all you, man. It's all you. You've done a lot, not just for the country, but for the business. And I'm stoked for the show. Even though I'm going to be kind of sitting in the green room, I'm still going to be chiming in on the comments the entire time. But I'm excited. I'm excited because this is somebody that I love and I have nothing but respect for. So Chio killed it with these two guests coming up. I've been killing it with my guests. We're on top of this.
We're just
killing things.
We're getting better and better.
Yeah.
like I said before, Dennis is focusing on more of the ones that are making their rounds now here and there, like ones that are standing out everywhere. And me, I'm focused on more of the newer talent that are just starting out, so we can get their some exposure to get them growing. So one day they will be those guys that Dennis has to rebook back on the show. And I like to read, and I'm reaching out to all the older vets who've been around, who at the time coming up, we never had the internet to do podcasts and stuff like that for them before. So we're trying to share their stories as well. So that way, some of the younger talent can get a feel of the guys who came before them.
Yeah.
So, was it no effing flattery would get. Oh, I love this guy.
So do I. His comments are just keeping coming. I just keep laughing.
All right.
But
everyone,
we gotta go. We gotta kill this
definitely.
switch.
But everyone, check out all of our Devereaux Sports podcast teams out there, as well as our affiliates. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Go to bodyslamspodcast.com, where you can watch all of our previous shows, our library on playlists that are they're all up. Everything's up to date. I'll tell you that right now. Like tonight, this after we go off the air, this will be on the library for the YouTube. You just have to give me a little bit and I'll put it on the audio stuff. And speaking of audio stuff, if you are in your car, at the gym, on the go, whatever it is, and you just want to listen to us, you can jump onto to any of those audio platforms, such as Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, as well as Spotify as well. All you gotta do is, like I said, jump onto bodyslamspodcast.com, click on the listen section, and pick whichever platform you like to listen to, and have fun working out or whatever you're doing, or even if you're at the 9 to 5 trying to get work done, you can listen. So, but once again, we would like to thank our guest that was on earlier, Amber Rodriguez. We would be happy to have her back once again for Thursday Night Slam. I'm Chio Frost. That's Dennis Reaper on the other side of the world. And we are out, people.